Say it, Travis. Just
No,
say
I
it.
can't. Somebody else needs to say it. It's public.
No, come on,
There
Travis.
could be sensitive ears listening this evening. You never know.
Just once, Travis,
No,
please
nah,
say it.
I can't say it. I'm afraid not.
Oh.
No, because
fuck
you'll
it, we're
use
going
that
live.
sound clip. You'll use that sound clip over and over and over again to. Nah, can't make me.
Actually, the last couple times I said I'd make a sound clip out of it, I really haven't because I haven't had the time. I've been working on GunTube. But anyways, welcome on to Hit or Miss. We got off on the tangent at the beginning. So, yeah, I'm your host, Night Strike, and we're going to talk and rant about a couple topics tonight because Night Strike is pissed off. Everybody else is pissed off. And unfortunately, the news we're going to talk about tonight, unfortunately, is bad news, and it's really pissing me off. So, but before we get into that, before I completely lose my shit tonight, I'd like to introduce my panel. We got AWAC 1000. What's going on, AWAC?
Nothing much. Just throwing around cars like they're nothing.
It looks like Dusty has decided to join us. Dusty, what's going on?
Thank you. Not a lot tonight. I just thought it would be interesting.
Yeah. We got everyone's favorite Spotted Rick. What's going on, Rick?
Hey, Night Strike. Thanks for the invite.
We got Sandhill Shooter. What's going on, Sandhills?
Hey, thanks for the invite, sir.
Squib, what's going on?
Same old, same old.
And we got everyone's favorite Travis P11.
Hey man, appreciate the invite. Thank you so much. Again, shameless plug. Check out my channel over on guntube.org, Travis P11. Caliber Corner, Saturday morning podcast, 8 a.m. Central Time. You can watch it on gunchannels.com and YouTube. Thanks, man.
All right.
I don't know that I'd say he's our favorite Travis.
No. Midnight Range is definitely the tastier of the two. So.
I will say this though: you're not the Travis we need, but you're the Travis we deserve.
So what? He's Bruce Travis now?
Thanks, man.
He's Bruce Travis. Okay.
Yep.
We're going to talk about a couple things tonight. First off, if anybody's turned on a TV in the last day or so, all the liberals are losing their shit over the whole 3D printed thing. States have decided to issue bans, and now someone's conned a fucking federal judge to block the release of the Defense Distributed 3D files because of, oh no, ghost guns are going to ruin the world. Fucking dumbasses. So, I don't want to even read the article, so please, just discuss.
Well, I mean, really, let's think about it. What is the difference between going out and 3D printing a lower and going out and buying an 80% lower and getting a drill press and making it yourself? You have a legal right to make both of them. So what difference does it make? And they say, well, you might be distributing the plans to foreign nations and they can make weapons. Oh, they could probably make their own 80% lowers too, and watch a YouTube video on how to do it.
Distributing to other nations like Fast and Furious?
Yeah, no doubt, right?
I mean, so really. Or all the American weapons we give to the Syrian rebels. How about back when the Mujahideen were fighting the Russians and they couldn't defend themselves against the Hind helicopters, so we gave them Stinger missiles. After the war, they sold the Stingers to the Yemenis. Guess who the Yemenis sold the Stingers to? The Somali warlords. And when I was over there, we actually had to aim our own Stinger missiles at our helicopters and make sure that their identify friend or foe would work with these, or would not work with these old Stinger missiles in case the Somalis decided to shoot down our helicopters with our own weapons. We had to program them to identify friend or foe prevents one of your missiles from shooting down one of your own aircraft, and you have to tune it to a certain frequency. I guess it would be a real basic way. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But so don't talk to me about our weapons falling into the hands of foreign countries. We have weapons, American weapons, turned against the Americans all the time. It's happened throughout history. So that argument is BS. How was that, Night Strike? Was that okay?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Someone else, pipe in. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose it. Please.
Well, and they had mentioned that the plans had already been downloaded 100,000 times anyway before this block went into place. And I haven't seen or heard of anybody doing any kind of damage or killing or massacre with the 3D printed lower. So, and again, it's already there as an 80% lower if you want to make your own. If you really care that much to do it, it's not like the 3D printer's offering you much of an advantage at all.
No, but
Uh,
Vanessa Kitty mentioned this morning that there are more ways to 3D print now than there were back when this was an issue when they banned the files. Because now there's 3D sintering, there's metal printing now. There's multiple ways of 3D printing, so you're not just printing a plastic anymore. And apparently, I guess that's why they're worried.
But what's stopping a guy from getting a mill from, say, Harbor Freight that costs $200 and machine one out of aluminum anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Or steel, for that matter, or magnesium.
There's a guy that made his own lower out of aluminum pop cans that he recycled.
There's a guy, that
I
same
believe
guy made an AR-10 lower out of brass.
Yes, I watched that video. That was a good video.
Yeah, I like the pop can AR-15 video, but I kind of like the brass video more.
Dude's amazing.
Yes.
Has anybody seen a video or saw it on TV? Senator Blumenthal from Connecticut today was holding up the poster with two different ARs that were made with 3D printed lowers, and he's saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's not a direct quote, but he's saying, coming soon to a theater near you, coming soon to a school near you, coming soon to a crowded area near you is a gun that nobody can detect. And good luck, TSA, trying to find these and keep these off the airplanes. It's not going to be safe to fly anywhere.
Oh
He's
my
really
God.
saying this. It's just
Because
like
they're
Die Hard
plastic.
2, but because they're plastic. Now,
Not that you
first of
can't
all,
already buy a plastic lower receiver from New Frontier Armory or a couple of these other companies out there, right?
Yes. And metal
Right,
detectors.
crazy.
I'm going to say something on this real quick, and I'm going to screen share because people don't understand.
okay, now,
Hold on.
can I make one comment while you're pulling that up, Night Strike? I just want to, if anybody ever does successfully find a way to make an entirely polymer gun with no metal in it whatsoever, I don't care if you sneak one in an airport because you're not getting ammo in there.
That's a
Those
good
are still
point.
metal.
Yeah.
So you can wave
Yeah,
an empty gun at me in an
gunpowder
airport.
that's
I don't care.
Here's the thing. Here's the gun they're losing their shit over. The Liberator pistol. That's what they're losing their shit over. That and the AR-15 lower. But this pistol right here, yes, the spring may be made out of plastic. Yes, everything in that gun, except for one part, is made out of plastic. But you know what that one part is made out of? It's made out of metal. You know what that one part is?
Barrel.
It's the firing pin. The firing pin is made out of metal. It's a steel nail that is this firing pin for this gun. Okay? You're going to tell me a metal detector can't detect a steel nail, surrounded by a bunch of plastic, especially one huge-ass metal detector that you have to stand in for like 5 minutes at the TSA?
But
Bullshit!
Night Strike, if you were going to take that onto a plane, you're going to have that in your carry-on, or you're going to have that tucked in your waist. You have to go through a body scanner. It'll detect the bulge of anything underneath your clothes. If you have it in your carry-on, they run it through an X-ray. They'll see it. So their argument about sneaking that onto a plane, it's not a reasonable argument.
That's my point. These assholes that are elected into these positions think that you can get this shit through the airport. Hell, I can't even get a toothbrush through the airport, much less one of these. What the fuck?
That's the problem. The people that are arguing against these things aren't reasonable people.
Yeah, you're right there.
Again, the whole ammo issue. How are you going to get your ammunition through TSA and the body sniffer and the X-ray? It ain't going to happen.
There's no way. Plus, with that kind
And then
of
I also want you to think about this. If somebody got on a plane, even if there were 4 or 5 guys, got on a plane and they wanted to hijack it, all I got to say is Flight 93. Do you think ever again in history they will be able to take a plane? The passengers will die revolting against any hijackers because they know they're going to die anyhow. So you might as well go out like patriotic Americans. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So
No,
you
people
think-
don't. You know what? People get out of line on planes anymore, and people take them down. They don't.
Yeah,
Let
no
them.
kidding.
Yeah, they'll duct tape them to the chair. They don't care.
Yeah.
Plus,
So,
that
I
same
mean-
firearm that I just showed, they say is so dangerous. It's a 22.
Also, the pilots lock the cockpit, and some pilots are armed. So I just,
I don't
And,
understand.
and we got air marshals.
yeah.
Almost every flight now too. So what the hell? What the hell?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just the new thing they can play off of everybody. The new fear they can push out there and get everybody all hyped up about it. And, oh my God, now you can print a gun at home now. Yeah.
And if the whole thing is you can make it yourself, so therefore it's not registered, or you didn't fill out a 4473, or there's no record of it. And what's the difference between that and breaking into somebody's house, stealing it, and now you've got it and you can take it anywhere, trade it, sell it, do whatever you want with it, and they don't know where it is because it was registered to the guy that you stole it from, not the thief. So still, what is the difference? There's got to be something better. I mean, otherwise they're just wasting everybody's time.
Well, and these are the same people that are deluded enough to believe that all their hoo-hawing is going to get their party reelected for the elections in November. They've been calling and saying this is our time. We're going to get elected. We're going to take back the Senate and the House. I hate this. I don't want to screw the Republicans over, but at this point,
They're not doing
good fucking luck. I don't think the Democrats are going to win this time. And if they do, well, then get ready for civil war because they're going to go and push gun control like no other. Because we have reached the point where if the Democrats get any further entrenched into our government, we're going to go and you thought the bans and the prohibition, the prohibited items and whatnot are ridiculous now. It's only going to get worse because these people aren't stopping. They aren't holding the brakes. They aren't learning their lesson. They're pushing further and further and further to disarmament of the people of the United States.
But nice strike. That's fear mongering.
Not really. What's really happening?
Well, not really. Turn your TV on right now. I bet you 10-1 right now they have an anti-gun piece on TV.
Don't worry, AWAG. I got where you were going with that.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Somebody else
There you
talk.
go.
So
CNN.com. Inside Halt's 3D gun plan downloads. Breaking. White House supports existing law. So now what are they saying?
But for those of you that don't understand how a 3D printed gun is considered under the First Amendment, basically when you design something in a 3D modeling program, it's using code. Code is a language, and it's identified as a language basically through any of the court systems. Therefore, anything that you make in a 3D modeling program is considered to be under the First Amendment instead of being like, if it's a gun, it'll be under the Second Amendment.
But because it's not properly defined, the Democrats, the anti-gunners, are going to try and take everything away. Because
what it says here on CNN is the Trump administration supports an existing law that they say makes it illegal to own or make homemade plastic guns. So
yes, but it's completely 100% legal to make a metal gun. Ooh.
well, I mean, if it's not considered a wholly plastic gun as long as it has the metal firing pin, right? That's the reason why you would be able to make them before the ban. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, New Jersey already blocks that that website for the 3D printed guns.
Oh, Defense Distributed or whatever.
Yep.
Oh, like it's going to be hard to pass source code along for something like that. Please.
It's easy. They're making it too easy. It's not even funny.
It's called a VPN, people.
I encourage everybody to get a VPN. Don't really go for the ones that are free, because like if there's nothing in it for the company, then they're probably going to end up either selling your information themselves, or basically not going to back you up if you do get hacked.
If you want a reliable VPN, there's only really two services I would recommend. First of them is private internet access. Second one, what is it? I forget the name of it.
We'll get back to you on that.
TorGuard. That's what it is. TorGuard and private internet access are probably the two that I would recommend, because they don't log IPs. They don't keep any logs of what you do. So they don't track you. Those are the only two I use, and those are the only two I would recommend anyone use. And that's TOR Guard. The other one is private internet access. Check those out. Anyways, I'm not sponsored by them, but I use them, both of them, often.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Back to this thing about the, you said New Jersey's already blocked that site.
They have.
So what's stopping you going in, using your web browser, going to a site in New York, for argument's sake?
Because New York blocked it too.
Well, I'm just using that as an example. What's stopping you from going to Arizona website and pulling it in?
It's all IP based.
Yeah, they don't allow the address. So they've got a statewide block of a website. No matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, say short of like satellite internet, you're not going to be able to get over any kind of landline, any kind of DSL, any kind of cable internet at all.
Not even.
So you're telling me that our government
Foreign site?
can block you from doing something online based on where you live?
Yes, it's blatant
Our
censorship.
government.
That's
Okay, and that's about as un-American as it gets. I mean, really.
Yeah, it is. That's where I was trying to get to. That's un-American.
That's why I'm so pissed off about all this.
It's like living in England again. Damn.
Yeah, Rick, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, oh well. My next question is, this war that you're talking about, we're going to win it because they ain't got no guns, because they don't want them.
I hope so, but the way some of these people act, I don't know.
What is the website again? I honestly forget it. I tried it this morning and it's
Defense Distributed.
It's just fear mongering. I mean, they've been losing their ass lately on Second Amendment cases. So, and it's been, they got to stir it back up again to get the old country all fired up again.
Defense Distributed deafdist.org is the website.
Oh, they changed it. I can access it now.
Yay. The funny part is that all these people keep saying that, oh, it doesn't make sense to have plans available online to make your own 3D guns. Well, first of all, it's illegal in the country to have 100% polymer firearm, right? That's been a law that's been out for 30 years now, apparently. Well, you're not downloading plans to make an all-plastic gun. You're making an all-plastic gun with a detectable metal piece. So you're just making your own firearm, which the last time I checked is not illegal. Obviously, depending on your state laws, but it's like doing an 80%
Right. You can make it, you just can't ever transfer it or something.
Yeah, so to sit here and say, it doesn't make sense. Well, yeah, it makes sense because you're not breaking the law technically, because the finishing piece, the metal firing pin, is not polymer. So you're not making an all-plastic gun. It's technicality. It's a single piece, but a single piece is a single piece, you know? So even the president was saying, oh, it doesn't make sense to make this stuff accessible to people. Well, sure it does, because there's no law against making your own firearm.
Well, it's coming to a theater near you.
Yeah.
Oh, that pisses me off to no end.
He's an ass anyway, that senator. He really is.
But I mean, people are forgetting that the uppers are made out of metal on these 3D printed lowers.
Not to mention the barrels.
Well, yeah, it's not like you're not going to see that. I mean, doesn't matter what you're doing. You still have to have a steel upper.
And even if it was 100% plastic, because I believe you could make a one-time use plastic firing pin, you're going to get one shot. That's all you're going to get.
Maybe
You'd be better off having a knife, honestly, because you can get more jabs with a knife.
Oh, I know.
So,
Yeah.
Or a machete.
I have another question. Slightly, it's sort of on the topic, but off it. The other report that came out today that I read, that the BMG 50 cal.
Rick, that's the next topic. Don't.
Okay, I didn't know that. So you didn't pass.
You're getting ahead of yourself, Rick.
Rick's just excited again.
I mean, you told all your buddies, but you left me out.
You didn't tell me.
I mentioned it before the chat.
Okay.
So if you jumped in after I mentioned it, Rick, shame on you.
Yeah, I left it as late as possible to get in.
Yeah.
I thought you might, because I thought you'd be talking about sites.
Pick on the Englishman. I see how it is. Nice, Rick.
Well, but considering their influence is ruining our country, yes. Yes.
You know, they make a good cup of Earl Grey, all right?
I'm drinking a cup of tea right now.
There you go. See? There you go. Yep.
Next
All
topic.
right.
Back on topic.
All right. I'm switching topics because I'm done.
Let the hate go for a few minutes. Let the blood pressure lower. It's all good. You're with friends.
I really hope that judge has a heart attack or something.
Inhale. Exhale.
Now, welcome to Meditations with AWAG.
All right.
Now get pissed off and throw a table.
If I had a table I could flip without having to worry about it, the table would have been flipped out of a window by now.
You should do videos where you just go out and flip a table and get upset about something. That'd be awesome.
Getting
I'd
pissed
watch
off in public, man.
The Flip a Table channel. People will watch it. I mean,
they would.
You know, anything gets more views than our gun videos.
Yeah, that would. I mean, that'd be like never enough ammo's. Go fuck yourself video.
Yeah, exactly. Go flip a table video. Here's what I think.
I could probably do it outside in the backyard.
Yeah, just go to a yard sale and pick up a card table and then just set it up, make it look all fancy, and then just get mad about something and throw it and walk away. That'd be awesome. I'd watch it.
All right, so breaking news: the ATF has decided. Well, let me first up. Everyone, you guys know about Safety Harbor Firearms, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you do know that they are making 50 caliber uppers for AR-15s, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the ATF and its fucking infinite wisdom, and yes, I'm gonna curse. So, if you have kids or small children, this show tonight is rated R for adult language. Just FYI.
And tonight on a special episode of Hit or Miss.
In the ATF's fucking infinite wisdom, they've decided that 50 BMG uppers, even though they're bolt action, are firearms.
What? What? Huh? How?
Now, do you understand why Night Strike is so fucking pissed off today?
How? When is the fully barreled upper assembly been considered a firearm? There's no serial number on it.
Well, it has to have one now.
It has to have one now.
A fire control mechanism.
What?
Yeah.
I don't. That doesn't even. I can't quite put together.
So wait. So let me get this straight. If you have one of those uppers, does that consider it to be two firearms if it's connected to a lower?
Apparently now it is. Yes.
Oh my God. What's the how? Did they just say because we want it to be? Is that their justification for it, or is there a certain feature about it that qualifies it as a firearm?
This correspondence is to inform you of a recent classification made by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. Firearms Technology Industry Services branch, which likely affects similar products marketed by your company. That same department received and evaluated a 50 BMG upper assembly for determination of importability. During the evaluation, the department determined that the 50 BMG upper assemblies incorporate a firearm receiver and therefore are classified as firearms in and of themselves. As such, these 50 BMG upper assemblies must be marked in accordance with 18 USC 923I and follow all prescribed statutes and regulations regarding firearms.
Can we have like just 60 people sue the ATF at once?
As background, the amended Gun Control Act of 1968, GCA 18 USC 921A3, defines the term firearm to include, in relevant part, any weapon including a starter gun, which will or is designed to or may be readily converted to expel a projectile by the action of an explosive, and the frame or receiver of any such weapon. Additionally, Title 27 CFR 478.11 defines the term firearm frame or receiver as that part of a firearm which provides housing for the hammer, bolt, or breech lock and firing mechanism, and which is usually threaded at its forward position to receive the barrel. The ATF has determined that the receiver of a bolt-action rifle is part of the firearm to which the barrel attaches that provides housing for the bolt and, in most cases, the trigger. In most bolt-action firearms, the stock is also generally attached to the receiver. The receiver must be marked in accordance with the GCA and federal regulations.
So wouldn't that open the door for them to basically make any AR upper a firearm?
Oh yeah, there's a bolt in every upper.
Now, there's another page. Hold on. Safety Harbor Firearms. With respect to the markings, the GCA 18 USC 923I states that licensed importers and licensed manufacturers shall identify by means of a serial number engraved or cast on the receiver or frame of the weapon, in such a manner as the Attorney General shall by regulations prescribe each firearm imported or manufactured by such importer or manufacturer. Further, please note that 27 CFR 478.92 states the following. Each licensed manufacturer or licensed importer of any firearm manufactured or imported shall legibly identify each such firearm by engraving, casting, stamping, impressing, or otherwise conspicuously placing or causing to be engraved, cast, stamped, impressed, or placed on the frame or receiver thereof in a manner not susceptible of being readily obliterated, altered, removed, or removed, an individual serial number, not duplicating any serial number placed by the manufacturer or importer on any firearm, and by engraving, casting, stamping, impressing, or otherwise conspicuously placing or causing to be engraved, cast, stamped, impressed, or placed on the frame or receiver or barrel thereof in a manner of not susceptible of being readily obliterated, altered, removed, the model, if such designation has been made, the caliber or gauge, the name or recognized abbreviation of the same, of the manufacturer, and also, when applicable, of the importer. In the case of a domestically made firearm, the city and state or recognized abbreviation thereof, wherein the licensed manufacturer maintains its place of business, and in the case of an imported firearm, the name of the country in which manufactured and the city and state or recognized abbreviation thereof of the importer. Please also note that a bolt-action upper assembly on an AR-type receiver does not change the characteristics of a bolt-action upper assembly such that it is no longer a receiver. The bolt-action upper assembly differs drastically from a standard AR-type upper assembly, including the necessity of manual operation. Further, the ATF has previously determined that non-standard AR-type upper assemblies, when attached to an AR receiver, does not preclude the upper assembly from being classified as a firearm receiver. ATF has determined that when two receivers are assembled together into a firearm, this redesigned firearm contains two firearm receivers. Wish to receive an official evaluation of your product? Please submit the sample to, chief of that department, ATF. So now discuss.
So the way that sounded to me, it sounds like they're saying if it's a manually operated bolt, it's bad, but we're okay with the gas operated semi-automatic variety. That's not at all the same thing. That's not bad.
Quick, everybody go out and buy a Barrett.
Yep.
So now we need to find out how to convert an AR-15, be able to take the recoil of a 50 BMG in semi-auto.
Long recoil, that's the answer.
So all you buds out there who said they'd never come for your bolt-action rifles, think again.
Yeah.
I don't understand the logic of why all of a sudden they're turning 180 degrees and saying, it's okay if it's, the automatic, the semi-auto upper is okay, but all of a sudden the one that you have to manually cycle the bolt every time, now that's not okay.
Is it because...
Is this only on a 50 BMG? What if it was a 308? What if it was a bolt, a turn bolt 223?
Yeah, but on those bolt action rifles, isn't your receiver, your bolt action, your receiver, that's considered the firearm. So it's not like you've got a lower like you do on an AR that's the registered firearm. That's the only thing I could think of is when you buy a rifle, if you pull the receiver out in the bolt and the barrel and put it in a different stock, the stock's not the firearm, it's the receiver, it's the upper. So maybe that's how they're classifying it on that fit. Even though it fits on an AR and technically that lower is the registered firearm, it's like you're combining two firearms into one. That's the only thing I could possibly think of. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so that would indicate, by that logic, it would apply to every bolt action upper, right? Not just 50 BMG.
Yes, and that's how it is, isn't it? The way I see the serial numbers on every receiver of every bolt action, like modern production bolt action rifle that's out there in the market.
But the last thing he said was that the action of any upper doesn't preclude being affected by this law. Meaning, if it is a semi-auto or a straight pull or whatever the heck, a side charging, whatever they want to do to change the upper, the last sentence says all uppers could be subjected to this decision. That's the kicker.
Yeah. That's kind of like when you get a company handbook that says the rules in this handbook are subject to change without notice.
Yeah, they're not
which
limited.
Means that the rules are they're all bunk.
Yeah.
So,
which means when you do something the company doesn't like and it's not in the handbook, they go, "We don't like that. Oh, by the way, we just made that change right before you did it, so you're fired."
Yep, exactly. And it's the same way with this. It's, well, for now we're going to allow it, but we reserve the right to change our minds.
Yeah, but
to me, it sounds a lot like it's something to stop what I have. I have a Thompson Center Encore, which I have black powder barrel for it. I have a couple 223 barrels for it. I have a Ruger barrel for a 204 Ruger barrel, which that gun, you have the receiver, but I put all kinds of barrels on it.
Mhm.
Oh, I think I see where you're going. You're saying you could have the one receiver, but you can change out the barrels, or in the case of an AR, you change out the uppers. So one receiver with multiple uppers in their mind is multiple firearms, when in reality, it's one firearm. You're just changing out the caliber, but they don't see it that
Right.
way because they're dumb.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, that's probably the simplest explanation I've heard since this morning. That kind of might shed some light into their way of thinking.
The problem I see with this classification right now is, yes, even though it's only for bolt action uppers, it not only affects the 50 BMG bolt action uppers, but the uppers in any other caliber other than 50 BMG as well. And who's to say
Right.
they might not take this to court and use this as precedent to get all AR-15 uppers designed as such as well.
Well, that's just it. It leaves the door open for such a thing.
So, yay! Not so much.
That's the bad
So if
part
it were
right
to,
there.
yeah, if it were to go through, you'd have to fill out. Well, you'd have to have two different serial numbers, or two of the same serial numbers, or something like that, on your 4473 when you bought one of these things. You'd be doing it as
You'd
if you were purchasing two firearms, not one.
Right. It'd be two separate 4473s, right?
No, because you can put multiple guns on the 4473.
I've
You
never
don't need
bought
to fill
more
it
than one
multiple.
at a time.
It's like up
Okay.
to 5.
Ah.
Isn't it?
I bought 6 on one before. Didn't have a problem.
All right, yeah, that works.
Apparently, in New Jersey, if you buy 10 AR lowers, you're put on a watch list.
Yeah, and don't they restrict how many you can buy in Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and California? Right?
Well,
Because you're bordering Mexico.
I think if you buy multiples, it could put you on some kind of a flagging anyway. If you'd happen to buy multiple lowers, I mean, there's that could happen to anybody. You buy 5 or 6 lowers, it could throw a flag randomly with the ATF or whatever.
No,
Two
if you
at a
buy
time.
6 or more firearms, period, you're on a. Yeah, they do flag you like in the background. It may not necessarily delay your purchase or anything like that, but they kind of want to know, hey, why is this guy buying in bulk? Now, it could be a collector, it could be anything. So they don't initially they don't assume that it's somebody doing a criminal act. But I thought it was if you were on one of those border states with Mexico, you were limited to how many you could buy at one purchase. Like you could go in the next day and buy more, I guess, or whatever it is, because you're on a border with Mexico. I'm on the border with Canada, and I'm not limited, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've been looking at possibly getting the P320. I've looked at how much the actual receivers cost, and I can get some of the stripped receivers, and I don't mean the plastic modules. I mean the actual fire control unit. I can get 10 of those for like $100.
Wow.
And granted, they are stripped, so you have to add all the fire control group parts back into it. But I've been tempted to buy a couple of those and just have them shipped to my local gun shop. Just because once I'm done with them, and once I can build a couple 320s up using those and using parts that you can get off you can get elsewhere, and there you go. Hey, guess what? I've got P320s out the ass. But I like doing that kind of thing, piecing stuff together.
And none of them are drop safe.
Hammer fired striker pistol.
All right. Well, no.
You just created a new category of gun.
all of them will be drop safe because I'll use the Apex trigger. No joke there, Spin?
The other thing you could try too is not dropping them. That's
Not what?
for me so far with my gun.
I would never hit. I don't know what possessed people to do that, but I would never hit any of my guns with a hammer intentionally.
Well, the hitting,
try and get it to fire.
that's hitting it with a hammer is to simulate dropping it on that part of the the back end of the slide or whatever, hitting the ground, but in a safe way where you can control where the muzzle's pointed.
I don't care. I don't have the kind of money to break firearms like that. People who do that they waste money because they have money to burn. Not everybody has money like that.
Well, right. I'm just saying I'm not going to be the cameraman for an actual drop test, just in case the thing does go off, because who knows where it's going to be pointed if you actually drop it like on a concrete shop floor. If it goes off, you don't know where that bullet's going. Whereas if you hit it with a hammer, you simulate the same amount of G-force without having to worry about shooting yourself or anything else you don't want shot.
Most of the slides you can buy now all have the fix on them. So
you can also use a blank, and now I know blanks aren't 100% safe, but they're much safer than a physical projectile.
anyways, I don't know how we got onto this. We were talking about the Safety Harbor firearms 50 BMG upper, so let's get back to that. So continue.
I mean, they're already sold out, so I'm kind of curious. They said that they've got some orders that are, if you placed an order, or I guess if you prepaid or whatever, they said you haven't been forgotten about, but I don't know if they're going to ship them or not. I mean, if it's been officially, is this an official ruling, or is this a debate, or is this a proposal? Do we know exactly what the ATF has done?
This is an official ATF classification.
Yeah.
Via letter of, they
it's
sent
a letter saying, is it basically saying, hey, this is already the law and we wanted you to know about it so that you're not breaking the law?
I already read the whole thing.
Is that kind of what they're going with, though? Is that why you got the letter?
Apparently, they were telling him that now all of them have to be serialized.
Right. That's what I was asking.
That's going to tie those up for months, too. That's the worst part about it. Imagine the red tape of trying to get that, now having to suddenly get whatever production license you need or whatever kind of paperwork filled out on that because you've now created a new firearm. I mean, easy.
What's that going to do to the value of those, though? The first ones that had to be like hand stamped or something with a.
They're going to go way up.
Compared to the ones that come off the assembly line later, that are machine stamped.
Or laser.
So after 94, when you went to the gun show, you could buy a pre-band lower or a post-band lower. The post-band lower was the exact same piece. But because of the serial number, it was made after a certain date, it was post-band, so you couldn't put pre-band accessories on there. That pre-band lower was worth a heck of a lot more money. And people would pay that if they wanted to have something like a flash suppressor or pistol grip or something like that. There were plenty of them around, but they were side by side, and you could see the price difference right there.
Just like the magazines that were higher capacity, pre-band magazines. They went pretty high after that too, didn't they?
Actually, not around here, no. I was able to get 30-round AR mags and 15-round M9 mags all day long for about the same price, but there were so many of them that maybe that's why. Also, back in the 90s, these guns weren't as popular. Today, they're real popular. That's what's really going to drive up the demand or the value, is the fact that 20, 25 years ago, nobody gave a crap about an AR-15 in any caliber, in any barrel length, in any configuration. And now today, everybody's got 1 or 10 of them. And anytime they say they're going to ban anything about them, everybody runs out and buys it, or the people who've got plenty of money go out and shell out that money, and it just drives up the market. So for those of you out there with one of these things that wants to turn it for a profit, you can.
Yeah. I'm very disappointed.
Well, 2 steps back for us this evening, huh? Jeez.
And then some.
Oh, geez, I don't know.
Well, if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it, right?
I'm not sure it's worth it this way.
It's worth it.
Anyways. So does anybody else have anything to talk about? I'm pretty much,
Angered out.
I'm angered out.
Shall not be infringed.
I can't even. I can't even say that right now.
We're being infringed upon.
Rick, I agree with you, but the problem is there's too many people that don't understand what that actually means.
Oh yeah, I know.
And unfortunately, I'm not allowed to hit them over the head with a frying pan to sense it to them.
Yeah, I know.
Because a lot of these people need some sense beat into them. They weren't beat enough as a child.
So, what court was the judge that made this decision?
On the 3D printers,
I think it was Oregon.
Okay.
it's the Ninth Circuit then.
Okay. Well, here we thought they were getting better.
Well-
Win some, you lose some.
Well, no, because now they're challenging that, right? The open carry in Hawaii thing, instead of having that en banc panel or whatever it is. What that means?
Well,
There's three.
yes.
They
It's gonna
want a
go
complete
before the
panel.
full- They're going to
Yeah.
go before the full court now.
Yeah.
It's not going to go through. You know that.
Nope.
Man, same thing. Was it Peruta that passed until they went to en banc and then it got defeated?
Yeah,
It'd be the same scenario, I'm sure.
yeah.
But we don't know. We can try. We can keep fighting.
If it's defeated,
And
that
then
was
from there,
court.
yeah, it could go to the Supreme Court, but probably not because they won't hear anything.
Well, not yet.
What call it would have to be voted in first.
Yeah, once Kavanaugh is confirmed, I think that we've got a lot more chances of the Supreme Court being willing to hear these cases.
Yeah,
When is he supposed to be confirmed?
The senators are still meeting with him, I think.
I think they're meant to start it. Because technically they're meant to take August off, but I don't think they are. So
No,
You can
I
bet
think you're
they're going
right.
to drag their
I
feet
think
as-
it's in September they're going to start.
I got an email today after I got home from work. I got it tonight with a short video clip. I haven't watched it yet, but a short video clip of the junior Nebraska senator meeting with him. So I'm assuming that just happened yesterday or today. So I know they're still meeting with him.
Yeah, they want to read all 300,000 pieces of paper he wrote over his career. But
It
But
makes sense. I mean, I would expect such a thing no matter who the appointee is.
hey, but it's okay
I
to
mean,
but it's okay to pass Obamacare without reading it.
well, they didn't have time to read it. They had 20,000 pages to read in less than 6 hours' time. There was no way you could read it.
Yeah.
They had more time than that. They chose not to read it.
That's true, but
Yeah,
either
they
way,
knew there was shit in there we wouldn't like. And as it turned out, it was true. I lost my doctor. My goddamn thing went up. It was a total nightmare for me.
When was that?
Obamacare.
Yeah.
When it first started.
I haven't met one
Well,
person yet who
mistaken.
has said that it has made it better for them.
I'm mistaken, Rick. I thought you meant the omnibus bill. So never mind on the 6 hours part.
All right. Does anybody have a topic? Anything?
Not that I can think of.
Well, you kind of put a damper on it tonight. I was in such,
Well, you know.
I was in such a good mood because we had some wins on our side, you know, and they just kicked us in the teeth.
The problem is I didn't see this coming, and apparently because I didn't see it coming, this is what we get.
Now, the guy who owns the company for the 3D printers, on Sunday he filed a lawsuit against the government. I think it was against the government for going against his civil rights or his First Amendment rights.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're doing that in spades.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This thing's going to be tied up in courts for years to come now on both sides.
Yeah.
So it'll take that long. It'll take years just to get a decision, even if it is allowed, legal to publish the plans. It's going to be years from now before they're legally allowed to publish them.
This guy's got to be in his 50s or 60s by this point.
You're probably right.
He's going to be in his 50s or 60s before he even wins or he eventually gives up.
Oh, well.
What's that all about?
We just fight another day.
Fight another day? It doesn't even seem like we're fighting at all. It's me being in a state where everything is being taken from us, where we have the NRA saying, "Oh, we're doing everything that we can." They're not. I'm gonna be blunt. It just seems to me that nobody's doing jack shit about anything. I'm guessing
we have nobody on our side to defend us or defend our rights in Congress right now. I mean, there's nobody standing up for gun rights. There's no organizations. I mean, we got some organizations that are working, but most of them are just looking out for their own, Well,
see, that's the way this has worked out, though, because the ally that we had was the NRA, and now the NRA has become vilified. And so even the people who are pro-gun don't stand with the NRA. And so we've lost our voice, because whether we like them or not, they were the biggest voice that the pro-gun side had. And they still are, but nobody wants to listen to them anymore because, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, really is what it comes down to. You either side with the NRA and you're a bad guy, or you side against the NRA and all of a sudden you're
still
anti-gun then too. Still a bad guy.
I mean,
and if you own a gun, you're considered a bad guy. And if you own a gun, there's people saying that you're responsible for babies dying.
and it's not like Planned Parenthood is doing that or anything,
What ally?
Right.
What ally? When was the NRA our ally?
I didn't say they were our allies. I said
When they offered
voice, even though they were
gun
dealing our rights away. But you know what I'm saying is they were the voice that we had, and now
they were a really shitty voice. They're not
right.
a voice that we had. They might have
I'm
been a voice we had
defending.
in like 2001 when we had Charlton Heston, but with Wayne LaPierre, no, not a voice.
I'm not defending the decisions that they've made as far as trying to trade away our rights. What I'm saying is we don't have any other champions to go to bat the way that they would. Whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, they were the biggest voice we
really
had.
Go to bat. That's a misconception. They don't go to bat. They basically take the credit for other organizations doing all the work.
The other organizations are no better than the NRA. They're all in the business of taking our money because of our fear. Yes, sometimes they go and they influence politicians on our behalf, and sometimes they don't. And I don't just mean the NRA, I mean all of them. And some of them have some hardworking, honest people in there who really want to try to make a difference, who really believe in the whole Second Amendment thing. And other people are just there collecting a check. And as soon as they're done milking it for all they're worth, they're on to the next nonprofit. And they can use their NRA or credentials or 2AF credentials or GOA credentials or whatever it is to milk that. So just understand that sometimes you've got to be in bed with some of the people you don't like, because sometimes you're getting results from them and sometimes you're not. It sucks. Organization you back, or how many of them you back, state or federal, you're not always going to be happy with what they do. And they all use fear-mongering. We may, they're coming. This is the most important year of our... Damn, I thought last year was the most important year. Wait, no, I thought 1999 was the most important year. Wait, I thought, so whatever. And it's...
Every month you get the envelope in the mail, man.
And it ain't just the NRA that does it either. They all do it to some extent in some way or another. And when you're at the rallies, they're with their booths and they're selling their memberships and their T-shirts and everything else. I understand they've got bills to pay too. but they also have board of directors to pay and whatnot. If you find an organization where everybody there is volunteer and they don't take a penny, that is a good organization, but you ain't going to find one. So just understand that sometimes you've got to make a decision. Decide you don't want to support this organization because of something they did or something they're doing, and you support somebody else. Don't be surprised when Borat walks in on that organization and embarrasses them. So
even it's the JOA, their credibility shot after that episode with what's his name, Larry.
And that's what I mean. But they all are our best weapon in this fight, I guess you could say. But they're also the kind that
weapon for the most part.
They're our only weapon in this fight, but they're a weapon that on occasion misfires, and you want to throw the damn thing in the trash.
Now,
everybody's got to make a decision on what groups they're going to get behind, how they're going to get behind them, if they're going to stay behind them, to what level. We all put in.
I don't want to argue for argument's sake, and I'm not picking a fight, Squib. I swear. There are some organizations, I don't know any nationwide ones, but there's an organization in our state that is 100% unpaid. Even the executives, the president, they're all unpaid. They're all volunteer work, and they go into the unicameral in Lincoln every time that there's a vote. They're always in front of the Judiciary Committee, and they're doing it on their own dime. Everything that they do is donated, their time and effort, everything. So there are organizations like that. I can't name any big one.
Well, they're doing more than the big ones are, though, for us.
Locally, they are.
Yeah.
You're right, but that's the other problem. They don't have the funding to be a major force.
They don't have the funding to be a major force, but the thing is, the people that work on the board of directors, the people that are actually working for the organization, they're doing it because it's their passion. They're not doing it for money because they're not getting any money. So they're 100% honest about it, and they're fighting because it's what they believe in, and they are the right kind of people. If you're taking a position unpaid in a organization like that, then I think you're the right kind of people.
But to go to the other point, though, they need the funding because the way our government is, the big money talk.
Yep.
If you're not greasy,
they do need the funding. They do, but instead of paying off that senator, they're lining their pockets. So you got to be careful. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you have to. That there isn't a small state organization where they actually are actually they're honest. There's actually not. But I'm also saying that there are a lot, if not most, of the organizations out there. They play on our fears to get our funding, and instead of using it for something that we want, they use it to pay their execs. And that's exactly what our government does with our taxes. That's why we get so pissed off about our taxes.
Yep, I agree with you.
I agree with that. Is Wayne Pierre worth the hundreds of $1,000s that he gets every year for a salary?
No, he's not. He's never been.
Yeah. Wouldn't that money be better spent somewhere else?
And here's the thing as well is it's not so much on a civilian level, but here's what I think is I don't understand why these politicians make these stupid asinine bullshit laws, and then the manufacturers blatantly follow it like the day after. Whatever happened to peaceful non-compliance? Just say, no, we're not going to do that. I mean...
You want to stay in business?
Oh, sure, they're going to go out of business, but, everything is going to end up the same way in a few years.
Okay, the manufacturers aren't much better than the gun rights organizations. They're in business to make money. Some of these people are pro-2A, and they built the thing from the ground up, and they're all about, fighting the good fight. And other ones, they're just about the bottom dollar, as if they were making forks and spoons instead of barrels and stocks. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And any business out there, they've got to pay their bills, and they've got to make the business successful, or else what's the point in having it out unless you want to be a nonprofit? So,
well, and another factor in it too, even just thinking of myself, I'm not a manufacturer, I'm not a nonprofit, I'm just I'm a Second Amendment supporter, and I have a concealed carry permit, And no matter what happens in my state or federally, as far as, carry laws go, I'm going to comply. I'm not going to be, peacefully non-compliant and insist on carrying my gun into a school and say, hey, I'm being peaceful here.
It's the same. It's the same difference.
I'm going to comply with the law, even though I don't like it. I still have to be somewhat compliant. I can't be, we have to pick our battles. And I think that's what you're meaning there, Squib.
I'm sorry.
Right,
I would like to see more of these companies that have millions of our dollars that we've been giving them for decades put back in. And to some extent they do. When you open your American Rifleman, those of you that still get the American Rifleman, and you see all those ads in there, you think those ads were free? No. That's what really pays the bills, not your $25 a year membership. Please. I mean, and they do SHOT Show and they do all the other shows, and they show up at these different events and they give away this and give away that, or these organizations have raffles and giveaways. Where do you think they get the stuff from? The manufacturers provide it. Yeah, they get a tax break, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, they do put back in. But some of us would like to see more of that. So instead of non-compliance, maybe these guys with the money that we don't have, maybe they need to be putting more money into it. Because we've been,
or maybe not even money. What I'd like to see is them become more vocal. Why don't we see somebody from, Federal Ammunition, whoever the CEO is, saying, hey, we don't agree with what's going on with gun laws. We don't agree with infringing on the Second Amendment. Why don't they take a stand? They're not going to lose any business. The people who disagree with them already aren't buying ammo. And the people who are buying ammo clearly agree with them. So why don't they just get more vocal? That would be nice. I would be happier with that even. Just raise awareness.
I guess my emotions
because companies like that are owned by investment groups. They're not owned by pro-2A people.
Right. And some of them are even traded on, the markets, and they hold public stock. And their stockholders have to make money also.
So. All right. We're gonna close it. AWAG, you got anything you want to plug?
Nope. Just, stay vigilant, people, That's all I can say,
All right. Dusty, do you have anything you want to plug?
I don't really have anything to plug, but I agree with AWAG. We have to stay vigilant. We have to keep up the fight. And thank you for inviting me tonight.
No problem. I said I would. So. All right. Rick, go ahead and plug your show.
Yes, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Hit or Miss Wednesday night, 7 o'clock.
Whoa. Hit or Miss Wednesday's night.
Yeah. Well, I've been winging it the last couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
That's why I use that term. Rick's Life as I See It, 7 p.m. Wednesday night.
Shooting with disabilities.
Yes, we try to keep it on that, but more than likely tomorrow's will be on the same subject as tonight's.
Yeah, I'll probably ranting in there too.
So there we go.
All right, John, go ahead.
Oh, thanks for including me tonight. Everybody, I think by now knows where to find me on all the major outlets, including now HugeTube. I did get my library imported over onto HugeTube this week, so you can check me out over there. Believe it or not, the name is Sandhills Shooter, just like everywhere else. And got some new stuff that I put up in the last week, so go check that out. Thank you very much for letting me come and rant and let my emotions get the best of me.
Same.
All right, Squib, you have anything you want to plug?
I guess. Lock and Load, Monday night, 11 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. Travis?
Yeah, NEA he got his channel back. He finally got the Never Enough Ammo channel back with the rights to go live again. He made that announcement at lunchtime today. So I'm kind of proposing a get NEA to 100K marathon here where we need to help Matt get to 100,000 subs. If he does that, I believe he's going to have a little more contact info with YouTube. If things happen in the future with channels, maybe he'll have somebody he can contact. If something happens in one of our channels, we can get some answers about things. Those of us that are just concerned content creators, and I know we got GunTube, we got Gunstreamer, we got YouTube, but for those of us here on YouTube, it'd be nice to make sure that we can continue reaching the masses the way that we do. So help NEA get to 100K, man.
Yep. All right. Travis, plug your show, plug your channel.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, check out Travis P11 channel over on guntube.org. Caliber Corner, Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. Central Time, over there on gunchannels.com. Sign up, get over to Gun Channels and sign up if you haven't signed up yet. It's free. It's an awesome community. It's a great place to hang out, get to meet people that are like-minded. It's been nothing but a positive experience since I joined, and I've only been a member for maybe 2 years, 3 years tops right now. So yeah, I'm a little bit behind.
All right.
Check out GunTube too.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't made the plug for that yet, but yeah, hold on.
GunTube.org, best place for gun stuff.
It is. All right, guys. Remember, we do this every night. Not every night, but every Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock. Hit or miss. I'm also infrequently doing the morning strike now. I know, night strike in the morning. What the hell is that? Where it's just me and Tony. Eventually, we may get G-Webs in there. It just depends on schedules and whether Tony is actively hunting or not, because Tony has a busy schedule. Anyways, here's a link out there. Here's my Patreon. Let me get the GunTube one. I know I'm totally bad at this. I should have these already, but oh well. There's the GunTube one. Check out guntube.org.
With your morning night strike, are you guys just keeping it with you and Tony, or are you guys letting other people join in, or what's the format?
Right now, I'm just going over whatever news or just whatever, just kind of get just, morning coffee chat.
Yeah.
So, if you're around, Travis, you're more than welcome to jump in, but if you're not, well, then you're not.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
Problem is I keep going to the range in the morning, so I keep missing all this good stuff. I get home like at 11 in the afternoon.
I've only been able to go and get to the range on Saturday afternoon when I went over to Garage Guns Place.
Well, you got one in your backyard, dude. If I had that, I would be out there daily, man.
The problem is Saturday was the only day last week that it
no rain? Yeah.
And it's been raining today, and it was raining yesterday.
What time do you normally have that night?
What? The morning strike?
The morning. Yeah.
It's anywhere between 8 o'clock and 9:30.
Central time, right? Central time?
No, Eastern.
No. Oh. Well,
so
whatever.
It's like 6 or 7 for you.
Yeah, I don't even know. No, I'm up. I'm awake. I'm just giving you crap because Central Time is the only time zone. Because we're in the middle of everything rotates around us. We're in the center.
Eastern.
We're in the center. We're in the center. Yep.
Eastern
Time. The only time zone that matters.
But
you guys are subject to flooding and tidal waves.
No. Of course, Hawaii keeps texting me that the water's unsafe to drink here now, and I haven't even read that yet. So,
but if anybody wants to help me out, I have stickers for sale on nightstrike.com, so go there, check that out. That's NIGHTSTRYKE.com. And with that, we're done. So thank you all for listening. This was Hit or Miss.
Bye,
Shut up, get infringed!
Oh, jeez.
Bye, Felicia.
Adios, Felicia.
Alpha,
Slim Jims are not candy.